Are always asking me if I know Tyler Durden.
I nod off. I wake up in strange places. I have no idea how I got there.
You need to lighten up. Without pain, without sacrifice, you would have nothing. This is chemical weapon, and you will have a scar. What are you doing? Stay with the pain. Don't shove this in.
You hear this?
I'm Bill Blake, your new accountant from Cleveland.
Oh my God. It was all happening so fast. Meg Ryan. Oh, exciting times. Oh,
Sorry, I'm having some trouble with the, there we go. Hello.
hello. How's it
How are you?
going?
You know, I just had dental work done and I'm kind of coming down from the gas and the benzos because I decided to treat myself.
Yes, you
And
should.
but
You should treat yourself.
yeah, I was like, what was I hoping in the past to get from not taking full advantage of what they have to offer?
Oh yeah. I mean, what'd you get done? Your teeth look
It
great.
was legit just two cavities and fillings. And I guess I was more afraid of like how I might feel than the reality of it because it was very subdued. But in the past I generally would be like, I'm I'm fine, just here, numb it, just Novocaine. But this time I was like, I'm scared, I want drugs. And they gave me drugs.
Yeah, the laughing gas is a thrill and a pleasure
Yeah.
every time. I mean, when I did some private work before I got my OHP organ health plan, which I was paying for, I didn't get all the laughing gas because it costs extra.
Okay.
When I was actually paying for stuff before I got my organ health plan, but the organ health plan covers all that. And so
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like I was getting teeth pulled without any laughing gas. I was getting all this shit done. I mean, two molars pulled without laughing gas, and they're gentle, but laughing gas is a pure pleasure. It's like propofol when you get your colonoscopy. Have you
I
had?
haven't had the pleasure yet. My cat, since we did this last, I got a cat, and he's going to be
Joining
making
us?
his presence now. What?
Please, please. We're a cat dog friendly thing.
Yeah,
He's a little boy.
he's a little boy. He's
How old?
very curious. He's just turned 3. I got him. He used to be a breeder, and I got him. Then they retired him, and they cut out his testicles, and they're like, he deserves a quiet life now that he's made served so many babies, and he's the best. He's great. We named him Romper Stomper, and I wanted to name him Neville, and my kids wanted to name him Coveting Thy Neighbor's Wife. And I was like, that's not a name. So we settled on Romper Stomper. But yeah, that's the cat update. That's the cat report.
Well, congratulations on a cat. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And this is officially announced the show is a 144th episode of Special Friends with writer, beautiful individual, surfer.
Yes. Yes.
And I saw recently a MILF post that you just did.
I mean, I think the MILF, I haven't just recently become a MILF. I think I just am a MILF in perpetuity. Back, forward, all the time. It wasn't like I just got my certification or anything.
Okay. You've been practicing for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. Thanks a lot for hanging out. And I'm a little rusty. It's been about a month since I did a podcast, but I've been doing a lot of short films and completing projects and doing stuff like that. Crawling. How's your winter been?
I don't know if you saw, I had surgery at the end of November, the day after Thanksgiving, and that was a bummer, and it took a while to recover, and now I'm back to basically normal.
Your surgery, if I can be so bold as to ask.
Sure, I tell everyone about it. I want everyone to know. I had these things in my ear, my middle ear, called cholesteatomas. They're essentially like non-cancerous tumors, but they are very deadly, and that they can migrate to your skull and like give you meningitis. But mine ate my hearing bones in my ear, and so I had a surgery for this about 2 years ago. And then like the winter of 2023, my ENT surgeon like looked in my ear and she's like, "Oh, it's bad." And I was like complaining of some pressure, and she's like, "We're gonna need to, restructure your middle ear."
Holy shit.
Uh, and then I was like, "Oh, okay. I don't want to do that right now." So then in September, I was going in for a checkup, and she was suctioning it so she could, use a scope. And I heard this kind of guttural, like, and she's like, "Okay, actually, your eardrum retracted so far back that the hearing bone was protruding out of the eardrum, and I accidentally just vacuumed it out of your head." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Uh, yeah, I'm sorry. No, it wasn't fun to go through. It wasn't fun
Ew.
to experience. So I had to go and get a new eardrum and my middle ear kind of rebuilt and new prosthetic hearing bones. And so that's kept me out of the water for a while. And I'm back to swimming in a pool, but I'm a little reticent to go into the ocean because there's still a lot of like runoff from the fires, and I don't want to fuck up any newly grafted
Yeah, you just
pieces of
had all
my.
that work done. So are you more machine than woman now? Are
I
you
mean, I'm
are
more
you assimilating
machine
to
than
the
a
matrix?
woman. I have, I don't know. I
If
have
I'm not,
prosthetic hearing bones, which is
can you
just as much of a prosthesis as, yeah, it kind of, right? Like it's like if it hits a certain decibel level, I just hear a, but for the most part, they do basically nothing except vibrate and become more annoying when it gets a certain volume. And that's it. I'm just kind of half deaf. So that's
So
been cool.
can you go see a movie in a movie theater? Okay, or is that gonna wreck your? Is like agitate that?
I can see it. I just cover my ear if it gets too loud. And I don't know, man. I actually just had a hearing test done on Friday, and they put you in a booth, right? And they communicate to you through these like really involved earplugs. And they, at one point, they're like just saying words and they want me to repeat them. It's super bizarre. And she's like, "Say which, say fat." And I would say those things. And then she'd be like, "Where are you from? You have this really thick accent." And I was like, "Is this the time and place?" Like,
Wisconsin.
I'm from Chicago.
Chicago. He's probably picking up because maybe when you're hearing, you don't hear your own voice, and that's what they want to hear for to see how you enunciate your words because you're
I,
without hearing your own words.
or also, like, I could just be hearing bamboo when they say shoe or something. I don't know. Anyhow,
Wow, that's crazy. Isn't it weird how that shit happens as we get older a little bit? I mean, I'm way older than you, I'm sure, but
yeah.
it seems like when things like that happen, it's like, oh, that's I don't like that. That's and then it that never happened when I was in my 20s.
Yeah, no, that's more or less it. Like, it's that energy 100% where it's like, "Oh, fuck, this now. I didn't need to have this happen. This doesn't suit me." And that's kind of like the really amorphous way of being like, "This was unpredictable and inconvenient, and now, oh, I'm gonna have to deal with it forever." Okay. Um, I think maybe because it's not, like it's a pretty subtle type thing. It's all happening internally. People are a little like hard time wrapping their head around it. Whereas you see somebody with like a broken leg, "I just got a new hip." Like, that's a little bit more easy to understand. Or it's like, for me, my balance is off. I get vertigo to the point where it's like, "Holy shit, the ground dropped out underneath me." Before I knew what was going on back in 2022, I was just like, "I guess I'm losing my hearing." And I just felt stupid all the time because everything was just coming in on one channel. It was hard to like hear what people were saying.
What? Huh?
I'm so sorry. Could you repeat that?
And then you find yourself doing that a little bit more, and you're like, wait, am I losing? I think things
Yeah.
kind of go in waves sometimes. I mean, not for your case because it's permanently in your ear now, but it's like I don't know. I remember when did you have you worn glasses all your life?
most of it, yeah.
I felt like a twitch in my eye when I was painting one night in Venice, like maybe it was probably like 2007, 2008. And I felt like a little, because I was like doing some detail on a painting. I was really probably stoned too, just like really zoned in. And then my eye, I felt this like muscle go like this in my eye, wiggled. And I was like, wait, what? What? And then there's like a little double vision for a second. And like I would later go to like the boardwalk, and I was looking at everybody and I saw people too, like that walk by. I was like, fuck. And that didn't last. That went away. But I think for after years of doing so much like focus detail work and stuff like that, like on lines and paint, it just like twitched, and now I wear glasses more often. And now you have to buy several. So if you leave one in your car, you have one in your office or your house or your backyard, or you have a little Easter egg hunt with your glasses when you how many glasses do you have?
I just have this pair, and they are also sunglasses, and I love them. I really enjoy wearing glasses. I think that, I've never like contacts have never appealed to me. I feel like they suit my face. I feel like it's part of my mystique. I feel like I don't have to ever put shit in my eye. I can just do this. It seems phenomenally easier. But
I couldn't do contacts at all. I couldn't. How about laser? Would you ever do laser?
no, I don't know. I'm fine. These is just it's.
Well,
I
you
like.
look great. It's not about not looking exceptionally well in glasses. You look
Yeah.
great. There's no one's arguing with that. But would you do now that you've already started going installing things? Maybe we'll just wrap around the teeth.
I can
I
feel
see
it.
a pattern: the teeth thing, the new ear,
Yeah.
maybe a chip at some point. Elon could get in there, and you could
Actually, it's
do
so
everything.
funny you mentioned that because the type of hearing aid I would need to circumvent the issues I'm having is a bone conductive hearing aid that's like fused to your skull and
Is that where
goes.
they have that like bump, that little, what is that like
Yeah,
round thing on the outside of your head? That's in your
yeah.
skull?
That's like, yeah, they fuse
Oh
a port to
shit,
your
that's like Terminator
skull.
shit.
Yeah, and they were like, and then they go like this. They're like, yeah, you probably need that. It would be a big surgery to install hardware, use it to your skull. And then my insurance was like, and your insurance policy doesn't cover it. And I was like, great, I don't know.
I
Fuck.
wouldn't No, that's like who was every time I see one on it's a real trippy thing because like you're probably I don't know if you're an empathetic person, but like when I see things like that, like I can visualize how it was made and what they had to go through to do that. Like if somebody has a lot of plastic surgery, all I see is scissors around their face.
I mean, I just so, oh, that's too bad. Like it's such an interesting thing when I see people with like not just plastic surgery, but like remarkably bad plastic surgery or just so much obvious work done. And I go, oh, I'm sorry you didn't like yourself as you were,
Yeah.
like
I went down a rabbit hole with this one guy who's a bald guy, really white guy. He's got his own YouTube channel where he tells you what a celebrity has had done to their face and takes you through the cost of what that would have of what the years, the timeline, and stuff like that. Woo, that's a rabbit hole. That's crazy.
yeah. I mean, people in LA are pretty pro that. I'm not like against it, but just for me, I don't feel like I I'm fine with how I look.
You got great genes. You got the cheekbones and
Got the cheek.
I mean, you look hot. You look great. You're
Yeah.
oh, I mean, you look great, but like I don't. Once you start doing that, it seems like the people get a little addicted to the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even really know how to like put on makeup. I guess it's like part of my whole deal, right? Is it's just like it's me. There's no surprises.
That's
It's
good.
yeah, to the right person, that's that speaks to some people. Um, and when I do have to get like in a dress and go somewhere nice, I'm very like, like I feel so silly. What do
You
you
like
do
put
with your hands?
your
I
head through
don't
the
know.
arm and stuff like that. Like the upside down dress is like back.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, boy, is my bra too tight? I'm gonna pass out. Jesus. Man, have you been down in LA anytime recently?
No, I've been back. I've been in Oregon, and I've been doing some caretaking over here for my aunt
Mm,
and her husband.
mm.
Um, and that she's dealing with some cancer and he's dealing with Parkinson's and dementia. And so I've become a caretaker for
I'm so sorry to hear that.
well, it's good to be that I'm had the time and I'm being paid to be here as well. So the money in Salem, Oregon, I'm usually in Salem. There's
Yeah,
I with it's like a I've learned a lot, like caring and selflessness, which I knew before, but it's like a whole um and I know that life is precious and we should get our rocks off pretty because this is it. Like
yeah,
the ages we are now, you don't like I know people that are laying on a couch all day that are younger than us. And
yeah.
that's just a I and people that don't really have fever for life. And I've always sort of had that, but like this kid's I worked at a I worked at TR Rose, which was a convalescent home before this, like years and years ago in Oregon. So I was painting the place, right? The interiors. And so I got to meet a lot of people that were transitioning into the next step, which is basically, it feels like you're in an airport and everybody's waiting to go someplace, but they don't know where they're going.
Oh, wow.
And so it's a kind of a trippy sort of like trippy thing. But, for here, it's supporting supporting and giving the best moments to somebody who's not going to be around. Just giving them the nice cushion, relax, gives me chills, but like making sure their exit is as smooth as possible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like, I mean, life is, we gotta, this is it. This is it. Is not going to be, if you're starting to not if you're starting to get lazy at 25 and 35 or 45 and starting to get ran down, do something different because it gets a lot like we start breaking things, your ear, my shoulder took fucking 4 years to fucking heal after that stupid thing, which is like, so, but I mean, I have an appreciation for the life more than ever now. It's just, get out there and do it because it's not when you start sliding or things, start happening to you and you're find yourself that family members are going to start taking care of you and this is the exit. This is like, well, I mean, I can always paint. So,
Mhm.
I'm going to do that forever. I can move around, but like, anyways, surf, get out there, run, activate, travel, because it's the demise. I've seen people with such low enthusiasm for life, or just I can't waste my fucking time anymore, man. I, you know, um, so that's been cathartic, I guess, and helpful. But it's been a blessing because the money in Salem, I'm making. I think I haven't been making that many painting sales, and
Hmm.
I don't know what the weather's. I know you went through. Like, how is LA doing? The PCH is fucking still closed down. There's a 9 billion pounds of ash, toxic ash on fucking Palisade.
Ew.
You can't go in the water. Are the beaches still closed down? If the PCH isn't open and
And
the
the be-
beaches aren't open, then there's no reason to be in LA.
well, the beaches are open. I'm just particularly cautious. Um, every time it rains, it's like, oh, good, more house debris is in the water,
And
all the way down in
human
Venice.
shit, the whole thing needs to
Yeah,
be vacuumed out.
yeah. I mean, I haven't driven through any burn areas. I will say it was so bizarre. When the fires started that week, it was like gonna be my first week returning back to work. I was so excited because do you know what type of dark night of my soul I had gone through from June when I found out like, oh, you're gonna need pretty involved surgery to the actual surgery and then recovering. I the first time around I had that surgery, I felt like a lot of my friends failed me. Not a lot of people showed up. And I was entertaining these thoughts like, wow, if I died on a Wednesday after my kids went to school, nobody would know until my kids came back to school to my house on a Monday. And so that's a hard place to be, to realize that like you're the one putting all the effort in your friendships and nobody's instinct is to like come and convalesce with you while you're stuck in pajamas. This time around, I was like, I know I'm going to watch The Sopranos. I'd never seen it before. I did an okay job front loading like that first week visitors, but after that it was the holidays and people weren't around so much. And so I went, I was so excited to go to work. Fucking fires start on Tuesday. Thursday, I'm supposed to go into the office. And it's still open. Like my company was like in Burbank and they were like, fires ain't here, baby. We're fine. You can come on in. And so I drove into the office and it was the wackiest thing. I got assigned to, basically that day watch a whole unreleased Netflix series so I could write the finale. And I was like, this is the dumbest use of my time. It feels like Armageddon. There's ash raining everywhere. It smells like a campfire. And then we started getting like psych out texts. And it was like, this is crazy. These texts are scaring the shit out of all of us. And then also, so that rattled me so much. I mean, like in an office cubicle set up behind a bad room with like myself and like three people who are my superiors at work. And it's just us. Everyone else used the fires not to come in. And we all get these psych out texts, and me and another colleague are like, oh boy, like really rattled by them. And the director of the company was just being, or of the department was just being stoic. And I was like, I don't understand. Didn't that bother you? And she's like, no, I'm bothered. Yes, but I deal with it internally. And
I'm
I was
bothered
like,
by the work you're not doing right now is what I'm
yeah. But I was like, I looked away. I was like, I don't think I've ever had a single thought in my entire life that I kept to myself. Like if it comes in, I'm telling everyone.
Yeah.
Everybody guys know what I'm thinking. But yeah, and then it just continued. Like there was a couple days there where it was just like fires sprouting everywhere. It was very strange and scary time to be in LA.
I was watching it from here, and I was like, I did a podcast with my buddy that lives in Agora Hills while the fires were happening. Before, and we were looking up. He got up on the hill and looked, and but that was like, it's so crazy how that got wiped out. And fires happen every year in LA around the same time, almost like clockwork.
Yeah.
You can almost predict the rain afterwards and the mudslides, and LA goes through this shit every year. And it's just wild that it was like so, it went out of control, so fucking batshit. Like nobody could do shit about it. There's nothing. There's like fire tornadoes and shit, and
well, it was
over that.
The wind was nuts.
That one guy fucking get a drone in one of them. Like one asshole fucking took out one of the planes and they had to go, one of the water dumping planes and took out one of the dumping because a drone, somebody flew a drone into it.
Oh, thank God we got that footage.
That guy confessed and already has been caught. But one ship, out of like 7 or 8 planes, to take out one of them, that sucks.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a shit show.
Fuck. So you've been up there, you've been working Salem, Oregon, you got the family situation. Did you make it down here at all for Paul's past summer?
No,
or no?
No. Last time I saw Paul was at the Andy thing. That's when Andy Stanhope was there. It was about Andy Letterman was there.
Okay. Yeah.
Were you there for that? You were there for that, right?
I think so. Yeah. Was that not the green room?
Yeah.
The green room.
That's the last one I saw.
Okay.
I candy flipped on mushrooms and ecstasy that I probably shouldn't have done that there.
I can't imagine that place unless you're just microdosing. I don't know.
It wasn't a full tilt, but it was I had like a interesting array of because I couldn't the subject matter was so hardcore, right?
Yeah.
That discussion. And then Overton was near where the jacuzzi was, and he's a big guy, and there's no lights around there. And so I kind of checked it out with Chris Bono there for a second, stood around, but it was like I was tripping too. So this stuff is like heavy shit. So I was like, and So Overton is blocking the walkway for the jacuzzi where people couldn't fall into the jacuzzi. You know, the whole jacuzzi situation every time. And so he gets up and leaves, and somebody almost falls over. And then I was like, okay. And everyone from the stage was like, is everything? I was like, it's okay, because Paul's gonna think someone just jumped into the jacuzzi or something. Or so I basically guarded that little thing after Overton left and watched him afar. But yeah, that was intense. And then I found myself giving water away to people that were dehydrated, that were tripping,
It
other
it
stuff.
was a
Menagerie. It was a pirate ship that night.
Yeah, it was a hot one in the valley. I remember it so clearly. Yeah, it was a hot one.
What did you have you been to any of his lately? I mean, he's had
No, I had like last summer, I had like a whole dark night of my soul and was just kind of focused on showing my kids a good time. And I did. And now our relationship is even better than it was before. But I don't know. That summer where Paul was hosting all those things and I was going the summer of 2023, like I look back at it really fondly. And I loved what you could see there, just strolling into his backyard. It was something else entirely. A lot of people try to create that and he just, I don't know, made it kind of organically, or it took off better than anywhere else I've seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he rides. I like it. It's open. It's open.
Yeah.
I love the openness. I like that he's still doing it. I want to go back. When I come back through LA, hopefully he's doing something else there. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, keep me in mind when you're back down here. I would definitely check something like that out with you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I would love to do that. But I want to come back to LA when it's open. I don't want to. If I'm, you don't really get out of your area. You live on the west side, very much. Like you don't have to deal with trying to get into Hollywood or do you?
Well, I have to go up to Burbank often, and that leads me to, West Hollywood and Hollywood plenty of times. And any fucking socializing, it's never on my terms, really. Like, so, yeah, I mean, it's, I'm able to get to those places and it's all relatively open.
So the traffic, because I heard like people were cutting across like Canaan or Pepperdine over the hill that live in the area. I know they have passes for people to come through that live in like Ojai to come through to Santa Monica, or if you need passes. The PCH is just I love the PCH. So if I'm going to come down, I'm going to be up and down Santa Barbara or Venice
Yeah.
Beach. But to get off that, you have to go to the 405 and to the 10 to the
Correct.
and that's a shit show to do that.
Yeah. It's so funny. I used to be so afraid, so deathly afraid of driving. And I'd be on the 405 and I'd be singing myself little songs as I passed like, big 18 wheelers because they stressed me out so bad. And I would, every time I went down the hill on the 405 going to the valley, oh, forget it. I'd be like, you're okay. You're okay. And now I navigate all of this shit so easily. It's like, it's hard to believe that was the same person that was like, afraid to drive. And now I'm just, well, okay, whatever, go for it. Like,
So if it takes you an hour and a half to go 20 miles, you're cool with that?
no, fuck that. I arrange my life to try to stay away from that. If that happens in my life, I get really upset.
That's why I'm not. That's why I'm not there right now. I gotta have that PCH, man.
I got you. No, it's just like to go to Burbank. This is what is fucking bonkers. So the job I work, it can't be done fully remote, and I do appreciate being in office, but there's times where I'm like, I'm gonna get up at 7 on Thursday to hit the road at 7:30 to drive up to Burbank. So I'm gonna take the 90 to the 405 to the 101 to like the 134 and then wiggle worm through Burbank. And exactly that. And it's like, this is insane. Like, why are we doing this?
What has happened to my life?
Exactly. And it's also like, I'm a single parent. I have my kids half the time. If on my free days, I'm spending 2.5 hours in the car just driving.
Oof.
That's a huge like slap in the face. So disrespectful to my time. It takes so much away from what I could otherwise be like kind of caring for myself.
Just on an optimistic note, I did cut you off, but like, does the amount of money that you make, not asking you how much money you make, but does that compensate for the amount of traffic that you have to go through to get there?
No, not at all. but
That,
you know, I have,
would that be nice if they added the extra hour and a half that it took to get there in your paycheck?
oh, I mean, sure, it would be
Or
great.
does that matter? Or would you just rather have the extra hour and a half in your life?
I mean, if I was making substantially more, I'd have a better attitude about it for sure.
And have a
But
better fucking attitude about it, that's for sure.
yeah, but I mean, in the end, what happens is like sometimes on weeks where I have to be in Thursday and Friday, I'll just sleep on a friend's couch. And my coworkers kind of laugh at me, but it's like I rather sleep on my friend's couch, hang out with my friend, sleep on his couch, and not do this shit. Especially because it's like, oh, if I left Thursday at 5:30 to get home, I might not get home till 7. And then I'm going to go to sleep at 11. And so I have those hours there to like kind of eat and rest and take care of myself. It's just, that it's not a great way to live. And so I rather do something till either traffic dies down or just stay in the valley that night because I don't know how to feel okay after that. Sometimes it gets really aggravating, you know?
So, with the PCH closed and everything, have you noticed a difference in traffic? But you're not seeing that in the places that you need to go in that area. You're not seeing the massive amount of people not able to drive on the PCH and they're taking alternative routes.
It'd be impossible for me to say
Okay.
for sure. Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
just get a paranoid delusion of what it looks like in my mind's eye to see because that so much is closed off and people have all these alternate routes to go through. It just seems like it clogs up more than usual.
Yeah, no, maybe it's just how I timed it. I mean, for sure, it blew me away over an hour and a half to get home one way, kind of blows me away. But I'm not sure exactly when that started and if it had anything to do with the fires. And then the other fires, the Altadena fires, I don't think they really affected it, you know.
But you guys got the cloud, didn't you get like a lot of the air quality went down to bad over there, right?
Yeah, it went really
What am I
bad.
talking about? Went down to bad. I can't even talk.
It went down.
It went down to bad,
baby.
right?
Yeah. That's the scientific term. Yeah, it went to shit. You know, my
God, that
kids
sucks,
were out
man.
of school for like a week. It was so funny. It was like the first week back from winter break. And then I remember like the fire started Tuesday, right when I was about to go pick my kids up. And Wednesday morning, I dropped them off at school and it had gotten so much worse and it was so eerie. And then they started being like, come get your kids. And they kept them home for the rest of the week and maybe a couple days into the next week. And it really was like, oh, this is bad. This is bizarre. This feels really eerie. I don't like it, you know?
And this is just coming out, this, I was actually sort of planning on going around there that time too. It seemed like whatever it's sort of like things were sort of lining up and then it's like,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's not happening.
I
That's
was out on a date.
The weather gets so crazy here bad that
Yeah.
like you want an out just to get some weather. And
Yeah.
let's go to LA and get some sunshine. And I don't know. It's all no.
Fire. Yeah, I had a date that weekend and we went out and we went to the Grove and then to a taco place and it was like it felt like being out during the beginning of COVID where it felt like we were doing something wrong kind of, and everybody else felt like that too. Like it just was a weird time to be out. But
there's a collective consciousness for sure when that like remember when Kobe died?
Yeah.
Did you go outside around your area when that happened?
What happened was I was in a grocery store and we were checking out and someone, Kobe died. And the whole grocery store was like, no. And yeah, there was a very public mourning in that moment. It was intense. Yeah.
I remember driving down the boardwalk because I was going to sell some artwork, and I saw on the it's so weird because a couple days later I shot some video of a helicopter that was flying low, and I had anyways, weird things happen. Like, and then 2 days later but like I saw the billboard. I was coming from like whatever Manchester or Westchester area or whatever, and the billboard R.I.P. Kobe, and there's barely any traffic on the road. I went off to the 90, got off on Lincoln, and went into Venice, and I set myself, and everybody was like in a daze. It was like quiet.
Yeah.
Everybody was silent and just kind of walking around in this weird sort of haze. It made for a
Yeah.
very surreal. So when like something intense like that happens, people do have you could feel the heaviness or the weirdness of it, or some sort of collective, experience happening.
Yeah. I mean,
So
not to get political, but
let's do it. I've refrained from. See how good I've been being. We haven't even talked about the white elephant in our house, the orange elephant in our house. But
well, just to say, like, not even getting in anything current, but like the night he was elected, I remember I couldn't even do anything. So I like got Domino's pizza, and then I don't know. It was like immediately it started feeling bad. Do you know what I mean? Like immediately.
yeah, I watched it with Steve Oakes and Julie in Portland. They have a place. I don't know if you know them, but they're really good friends of mine. They friends with Paul and everything. But like I watched it with them together, and we got drunk at their house, and I was like chain smoking spliffs on the radio because they were going to go. They had it,
Yeah.
and so we had made plans to go hiking at Silver Falls here in Silverton, which has like 10 waterfalls at it. And so we premeditated to, if he won or lost, we were going to go do that hike. And we did that. We did mushrooms, and we just went tripping around and had a great lunch, and just got our mind as far off of it as possible. And it really was helpful.
Well, I mean, I'm happy for you. Here,
yeah.
it was a different energy. And I went for a swim, took a shower. By this time, it's like 8:30 at night. And it just seems like, I don't know. So I went out for a walk, and it was this like eerie, heavy, thick silence.
The day after?
No, the day that as it was unfolding that night. And yeah, it was just like I've lived in the marina a long time, and it felt weird. Like the silence felt weird, the energy felt weird. There was no hope. It was very squashed. Then I came home and took some Ativan. Ativan is a benzo, like Xanax or something like this, just to deal with it,
Do you smoke weed at all?
I don't really care for weed. It doesn't hit me right.
How about gummies?
No, the edibles are even worse.
You have a story you can tell us about why you don't like edibles?
There's nothing
What happened to you?
profound. It's just like the last time I smoked weed, it was New Year's Day, and it was like I hadn't touched it in a while. And I also cut back on booze quite a bit as well. I love shrooms, and I get everything I need out of shrooms. So I smoked weed on New Year's Day, and it was one of those things like a couple hits, and it just fucking got me. And I didn't like how my body felt. I felt like I was being weird. I felt like a pussy. I felt like, it hit me too
You weren't
hard.
having a good trip. It was feeling like heavy and distraught and confused.
Yeah, and I think the person I was with was also just like, I didn't know her very well. We were at my friend's apartment, and she's just like, you got these like bitches that stress you out. Like, oh, I can't be around that girl. She stresses me out. And it's just like something about it. And it was that.
Our women worse. They just talk and talk.
No, I had this insane trip right before the election, and it was humbling and cathartic. And unrelenting, and it left me feeling like something had changed. And it was scary, but at the end I was glad for it. I had felt some level of peace or lightness. And I lived in that for 2 days, and then Trump was elected. And it was like,
You had 2
God,
days.
but those 2 days, I
Glorious
was
2
telling
days.
everybody about how I processed this trauma.
Yeah, nothing could get me down.
Yeah, I'm calm. I'm a different version of me. And then I stayed away from shrooms for a while after that. And now I'm back to like a nice little gram and a third type of trip every 2 weeks.
Oh, good,
Uh,
good. That's wow. That's healthy. I mean, if you're into, yeah, yeah. Do you go hiking or what's your
the
perfect
beach,
beach
it's
ocean?
basically, yeah, it's pretty much perfect, right? Like you just you go with a good buddy. I love taking people on trips, like their first real trip at the beach. You go to the beach, the sun comes out, you're laying on a blanket, all of a sudden the sand starts moving, the sun, the clouds, everything's got a like shiny pearlescent sheen to it. The patterns, I get these like very intricate like Florida lay patterns that come up, and
Yeah, that's the mesh of
yeah,
like the pattern work. Yeah, that's really beautiful stuff. I've had
yeah,
some pretty heavy trips where I want to do a series of paintings. Uh, because I focused on ever like look at the pattern, right, and kind of gel in it, morphs and does this stuff. Like in your even if your eyes are closed, do you ever get the pattern
yeah,
make when you lay down all that? And I want to go in, and I started going really into it, like it held still, it wasn't enveloping, but it held still, and I saw there's these patterns that I really want to do, this silver kind of silver and gold like pattern work. And but I was like looking at it, and I have the visual like when I describe it clearly in my head, which is one of the most amazing things about mushrooms is you can bring it back into this reality.
yeah.
And but there was a language there, and I was like, oh, I want to go and explore that language. And so that'll be some paintings. I've sort of touched on it with some of the new stuff that I don't have out right now. But when you focus on that and realize that pattern for me, psychedelic, there's a pattern in there which is a language, and
Mm.
you're kind of feeding it into your enveloping it and taking it and ingesting it. I don't know. I look at it like that sometimes. It's like that pattern is so like the best special effects, and that wouldn't even be able to compare to that.
It even like takes my freckles and makes my freckles into the pattern. And I'm always like, I am a work of art. Like I love how it like it
Is it like that where you can see your aura, the patterns, like the almost like the internal workings of a clock? Is that kind of stuff?
it's like it's as though it groups my freckles into the different patterns. And so they might like, you know, group themselves in these geometric shapes that are also kind of moving. And I can't recommend it enough. Obviously, you can't do them too often because
I save them for a special occasion. They're a special occasion sort of situation, and
yeah,
I mostly do them by myself. Occasionally, I'll do them with other people, but some people I found out that aren't psychedelic. I was like, dude, I was like, friends of mine, I won't say names, but I was like, and they've sort of stopped themselves at a certain distance from not wanting. I could see their borders are up,
yeah.
and that's probably a good thing. But they could break through that shell if I'm like the best guide in the world, and apparently you are too. But like, I know how to dose people correctly. I've dosed my mom correctly, even though
Oh
it
yeah.
doesn't make a difference in the world in the end. Because when people are in that, they're locked into that world. You can't
Yeah.
get them out of it, and once you're locked in, you are in. So I even tried doing that, unlocking that. It unlocked for a little bit, but it's closed shut like even double time. But um like I tried giving my friend ecstasy when the Joshua tree. We're at this we were with some other friends, and they had already crashed out. It was a beautiful Joshua Tree, like a trip zone, right? Like it looked like Burger
Yeah.
King, this what do they call it when you rent a place? Airbnb. Uh,
Yeah.
and they had a jacuzzi there, and it had 2 hits of ecstasy. Right? I said, I'm going to take an ecstasy. I've already been tripping on mushrooms, which he had like a minuscule amount. And I said, if you want this, I'll give this to you, but you got to eat. I mean, this is pure, it's reputable, it's great. And he did this shit where he untook it off, he uncapsuled it and put it on his tongue. I said, what are you doing? And he's all, those are prison rules. I was like, what are you doing? You're just wasting. And then he went and puked it all out. I was
Oh,
like, you need to get over this fear of, just do it the right way.
yeah.
You're in the perfect scenario.
Yeah.
And some people aren't psychedelic.
Yeah. I'm stopped hard at shrooms. I'm happy there. I live there. That's fine for me. Uh, but I want to know what it's like in Joshua Tree. I will say at the beach is like a very, like, it's a good energy to be at the beach and on drugs.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
but you're not in a crowded area, right?
No, no, no. I know how to seek it out. I know how to
You got your
I know
spots.
what I'm doing. Um I don't think I would trip on like a day where every single foot of sand is packed, obviously. Um but yeah, no, I mean, there's just something about the clarity it gives me days afterwards where it's like maybe Meg's not doing too bad. Maybe Meg's onto something. There's like this boost of confidence, like things are going to be okay. That's more what I'm after than, I mean, I like the visuals, I like to trip, but
Well, that's like but that's amazing thing about this amazing medicine mushroom, psilocybin, is that you can choreograph your own experience. Once
yeah,
you start doing it and become a psychonaut and know exactly what to do, what you want, and how you're gonna do it, you're fine. Some people go in there completely like, that they get through all the layers of bullshit that they've acquired to get to,
yeah,
which is part of the medicine of it. But you know how to prescribe your own. It looks like you know the prescription, what
yeah.
you
And
want it.
I always try to explain to people because have you ever been around anybody who's just like, when am I gonna feel it? And you're like, oh God. I don't feel anything, and they take it like 15 minutes earlier. And it's like, when you go to the symphony, do you just get on stage and start trying to play all the instruments? You try to predict what happens, like let it unfold to you. And the other thing I tell people is, because I'll be like, well, I went in with the intention for this or that to get this understanding, and they'll be like, oh, you can control it. It's like you can guide it like a horse. You can't control it, but you can steer it in the right way. It is such a thing to, like, I don't know, every part of it, if you just kind of relax into it. It's understandable why people maybe are anxious about feeling it because it's unpredictable, but when you're seasoned and like, okay, you're going to feel a little nauseous and hot and you're a little weird, and then in a second, oh, everything is going to become a lot less serious. That's that's all I'm looking for in an
Yeah.
experience, to be a little disassociated from my problems as well. There's definitely a time during a trip where I remember writing down in a book, I had this grand understanding of like, we're all just slivers of the universe experiencing itself. And it just really made so much sense to me that, like, basically, how could the universe even comprehend itself if it was everything all the time? So it had to create this experience. uh you know I'm trying to decipher high people talk, but it really did bring me a lot of comfort of like, okay, like there's this all kind of,
Clarity, a
yeah,
clarity to see through the bullshit, to see the other side, that all this other stuff that's bogging this mess, this baggage, isn't really what's really happening.
yeah, nothing's ever really that serious.
Yeah, I mean, I remember losing some money when I gambled some blackjack. I lost like $500 at that Chumash casino near Santa Barbara. I felt like
Okay.
such fucking such a tool, like an asshole after that. I don't have that kind of money to lose, and
Yeah.
it's an addiction as well. But then I went back to Santa Barbara to sell some artwork. It was Tuesday, and I felt like I had to sell some paintings. I went. It was Tuesday. It was a farmer's market, and I was like such when the in a bubble of cloud of like bullshit mind stuff.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm a fool. I'm an idiot. What am I doing? What's sort of your problem? And then I was bashing myself mentally, and I went to the boardwalk. I went to the State Street, and there's a guy outside a trash can with no legs that was
Oh,
like, lowering himself off of his wheelchair to sit by the trash.
yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I have nothing to fucking complain about. I have
Yeah. Yeah.
zero to complain about. Once you see what other people are going through, not to, I mean, his lot in life has got to be nuts. But like for me to have a like, meh, meh, meh. Like I got my legs, dude. I can walk around, I can drive, I can make money, I can do it. I mean, it's all perception, right? You want to
Yeah.
have that clarity. I think that's what mushrooms do. I mean, when I do mushrooms, I usually lay down for a little bit as it comes
Yeah.
up. 'Cause I want to be as relaxed, and then you like do the breathing, and then you start laughing, and you're like, oh, okay, here we are. We got there.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess yeah, I mean, I'm on the beach. I'm enjoying myself. I'm sprawled out. There's
How do you
nothing.
keep your skin so good? You're a pale person.
I wear sunscreen.
Which one do you recommend to people that are pale?
What? Copper tone 50? I have like a ton of freckles. So I don't know that I am I don't know. I don't know that I'm that pale, and I don't, but yeah, you wear sunscreen. As a lady, you have to put on sunscreen or you'll age rapidly. But anyways.
What are the other do you know about castor oil?
No.
No, castor oil is like a thing. I started getting these things, like these blemishes. I thought like were like a hair, but it was actually like a little varicose vein, right? From
Ah,
sun damage. And I looked at this thing about, just for the listeners out there, try castor oil. Do a YouTube area, but like I started using it. Saw it on YouTube by a doctor. He's, oh yeah, put castor oil if you're having like damage to your skin at all, or or it's to tighten it up a little bit. I'm a modest person. I don't really care about wrinkles or whatever. But like I was like, and then I put it on that spot for like 4 days in a row, and it went away. I still have like remnants of it, but it went away. So everybody, if you have little varicose veins or something like that, put some castor oil on it for like 4 days in a
well,
row.
God, I'll give that a shot if it
Yeah.
comes up.
If you've ever
Uh,
had anything happen like that, but it's like a little cure-all. But let's get to Trump.
oh,
I think we've had enough.
man.
I think we've had enough of this bullshit. Okay, so we all knew it was be crap, and it's been shit crap, and we got this other crap stain, fucking Elon, and we think we. How did we get two crap stains for the price of one?
Man, I can't postulate on that. I don't know. Uh, I I truly don't understand.
Actually, with JD Vance. JD Vance isn't really in the picture though.
Yeah, I truly don't understand what happened. I got to be real with you. I don't follow it that off like that closely because it fucks me up. But yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what on earth is happening. I'm, at one point portfolio is really looking good, and then all of a sudden it's like very frightening every time I look at it. And I'm like, oh my God, my entire confidence in what I have for my future is, I don't know. And I don't even know what we're supposed to do. It's only been like 2 months. Like, what are we supposed to do when somebody's this egregious?
I don't. I mean, I'm hoping that it implodes on itself, which it sounds like. It looks like people are. I mean, the MAGA people and there's a closet MAGA situation happening in LA. There's lots of closet MAGA,
Oh, tell me about it.
and
Yeah.
I found out recently. I sort of almost knew a little bit, but some older white guys that had businesses, and one's retired, one used to have a business, but they they are full on Trumpers. Like I was like, oh
Mhm.
well, we should just keep our friendship and not talk politics because
Yeah.
because that's gonna not go well because you can't talk to people. I mean, anyways, it's such a cult. It's crazy. Like there's so many people saying that this is on oh he's gonna crash everything because we need to reassemble it, so it's a good thing. In the psychicness he's came here to do this because things need to be broken up. There's so many different you can argue any side you want to this, but I think
Yeah.
the facts are the facts. I mean, people are this is not right. There's none of this is right.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what to say. I mean, have a kid with type 1 diabetes, and so she's immunocompromised, and the fact that, measles is all of a sudden a thing again is super terrifying. Just how everything has become with RFK Jr. in charge of health stuff is frightening. I just I recently, oddly enough, I recently bought an electric car. I got a Mustang,
Huh?
and
Ah,
I
it was a Mustang, people.
yeah, like you need to understand, it's not a Tesla, but like every level, every part of our lives, there's no. I used to feel like it could be a little bit more separated, right? That you could have your personal life and then the part of it that was like paying taxes and oh, I don't like that. But now it's like every decision the government makes impacts us everywhere. And maybe I was just blind to it before, but it's like I don't know. I'm glad I got my electric car when I did because Biden was still in office. There was still like these mad rebates. And now I don't know what it's going to take for any car with the tariffs to get a new car. Everything's going to get so much more expensive. It's insane.
Yeah, he just tariffed the entire planet. You know that today. The
I don't know.
Liberation Day. Yeah, he threw out all the tariffs. Basically, he's tariffing the whole world against the United States. It's like
Right.
Israel, Iran, Korea. Everybody gets a tariff. But uh, the yeah, I mean, I just I tell people that are MAGA. I mean, I hope you're right. I hope it's all sunshine and roses, but I don't think it's looking that. But if this is what you wanted, this is you got it. I mean, I hope it's it's the parade of fun that you think it's going to be, but or make it out to be, but it's like it's wild and it's divisive. It's all these different things. But
Hmm.
I mean, it just sucked that we had COVID. We had him the first time, 2016, and then we got COVID on top of it.
Yeah.
It's a double whammy, and then we get this little fucker for the second time. It's like I want to sue him just to get. I'm suing him for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I want my 50s back.
I
You
can't. It
taking away
is.
my 50s. I This should be the best time.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. But he likes to do things in court. So yeah, you should probably sue him. I don't know. You dating in LA, you run into people who are Trumpy now. And it's always really hard because it's like, I don't know. Now I'm on a date with this person who like wants to blame, they're just feel so convicted they're right about everything that like when it came to the fires, they were like blaming Gavin Newsom for them for some water reserve. And it's like, there were like 25-mile-an-hour winds and like fire tornadoes. And you think like a water reserve being filled was going to put that out? Like, seems like it's a natural disaster. Or
Yeah,
just,
there's that. You couldn't do shit with that, but
yeah,
they could have done things a little faster maybe, but who knows what, but like, was the National Guard ever came out for that? Did
I'm
they,
not sure.
there's a whole bunch of fuck ups, but I mean, uh, yeah, I have a friend that's been going out with this guy for like 4 years, and, she actually came out. She didn't want me to post the podcast because we were talking Trump, right? This is the last one, one of the last ones I did. So I put like visuals over top of her, like the ocean and
Ah,
pretty pictures, and because she didn't want her face to be shown, so it's just audio, and then she didn't want me to put it on Facebook.
ah,
Ah, because she's dating this guy and she might break up with him
oh no.
because he's still trumping and
Oh,
she's a hippie.
oh my
And
God.
I was like, oh, okay, I get it. No, I won't do that. But like, she's got him on like, radar. He's losing momentum. Like he's going each down and in the respect category, or like I
Yeah,
don't want to be around you anymore category.
for sure.
This is how you're going to feel about things. I can't align or even humor this shit.
Yeah, I think that's the move, right? Is to distance yourself from people like that.
It's too
It's
much.
just, yeah, it's too much.
There's
Uh,
no, and so that leads to focus on your creativity. Let me know if you need to go anytime. We're about to hit an
yeah,
hour, but
that's all.
but it's I like time. Time is I don't like to waste people time. I don't like my time wasted, and I don't like to humor people. So like, you're not really gelling. I can't tell you that or fake laugh. The people that fake
Yeah,
laugh is something that's not really they don't really find funny. Just don't fake laugh. I mean, it'd be genuine about the if it's funny, it's funny. If it's not, it's not. Or if it's
yeah,
sad, but like I don't know. It's just a difficult time. Uh, it's I we'll get through this though. We did Trump before. This is he can't do the election again.
here's hoping.
Um,
He makes a lot of fucking comments about it. I don't know what are you supposed to say. Like that might not like that's I don't know.
the thing is, we're only fucking 2 months into this bullshit. That's the
Yeah,
thing. That's this can't last. They're talking about there's even recently as of today probably. They're talking about Elon Musk is probably going to step down in May,
uh,
which is just another talk. What they're doing is they're making what they're doing. They're making the markets volatile. They're
they really are.
ping
Yeah.
ponging. So when people want to buy, the rich they can buy at a low cost because everything's up. They're ping ponging instability of the market. And I know nothing about politics, and I hate politics. Trust me, I would rather be making a movie or talking to
Yeah.
you, or having fun or doing something creative. Um,
What's happening?
my clock just went off, the alarm. But what was the point? Maybe not.
I
I'm
think you're
time
just
traveler.
saying.
That's the point. Is time traveler. I wore this to the farmers market, and the girl at the mushroom thing, who's a friend, she's all, "Oh, you're time traveling? Where are you time traveling to?" I said, "Fucking out of here."
Out of the darkest timeline. Uh,
But I mean, this will all sew itself up, right? But we got to be activated. That's why you can't not to be, but you don't have to. You can't just be normalize us, I guess. Once things become normalized, once it normalizes and we can become complacent, it's just that frog in the boiling water situation. You don't want to
yeah.
do it
It,
before it's too late.
yeah. I guess I just feel like, did we ever even get like our head on straight under Biden, or was it just more? I don't know. I
It was
get
well, it was a better economy. He got the Goldilocks economy when he stepped in the fucking just like he did after Obama. He got it twice. He got the great economy
Mhm.
twice. He stepped in to destroy it.
Yeah, it just is insane. Uh,
He might be a Russian asset. He's got like people. He might be like people are swearing that Putin's must have something on him.
I don't know. It's like I feel so powerless in this situation. It's like even if he were, it's like, well, what is Meg gonna do to get to the bottom of this injustice? Like
Well, you show
just
it with your Steve Oak says, show it with your wallet. What you buy, how you spend your money, what you spend your money on. That's one way. Like
no more
everybody getting
peaceful.
rid of their Teslas, that's one way to show.
Yeah.
Did you see that thing where he was interviewing and he's all, and this stuttering thing, I've got a stutter, and this stuttering thing that he's been doing, I'm over it.
Is Elon Musk stuttering now?
Yeah, this thing that he does before he talks. You don't watch. That's good that you don't know that. But he does this thing where he's. I don't know why people are like all mad at me, and I always do good things for people. I've always done good things in my life. I was like, oh, you piece of shit with a fucking going from like a tree trimmer or like that thing to this like pitiful little I do nothing but good things for people. I just want to help. You guys are so full of shit. And also, we're not going to Mars, by the way. It's completely fucking impossible to get people to Mars in 4 years. Mars has no air.
Yeah. They can't live there. I don't know. It would be just such a monumental catastrophe. It would be like The Martian, where it's like they're dead.
And he won't even go into one of his rockets. He won't go into one of his rockets.
Holy shit. The other day, I remember being at work and I brought up CNN, and one of the stories, like on the front page, was like Katy Perry and Gayle King among 6 women and first all-female rocket.
Beyonce is gonna go on that, or Gayle King is gonna give up.
Yeah, so Katy Perry. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I'm not gonna be on the same planet as these bitches. Like, what? Like, I couldn't wrap my head around the things that were being told to me. It's very confusing.
There was that thing that they were supposed to do with this Japanese billionaire, and before Elon, this is like in 2020 or something like that, or 2021, they're going to do a moon loop.
Okay.
They're going to take some rockets. He's going to get 7 artists of various forms, film, video, or a filmmaker, painter, musician, blah blah, poet, and take them around and go over top of the moon and come back. Because the moon is going to take like 3 days. So he's going to do this.
Come on in, honey. Sorry, I think my daughter's popping in.
Do you need to go to her right now?
No, she's just gonna get herself. Hi, honey pie. I'm on a Zoom. Okay. How was track?
That's okay. So essentially, what happened was we had a hard workout yesterday because, like I told you, we weren't going to actually race today.
Yeah.
So apparently the distance teams are non-existent, and they were. There was like barely any kids. So essentially, he put like a few kids in certain events, but then put everyone else in an 800 and just said go 80% to 100%.
All right.
So I hit that 80.
I
wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
The wind was hard. I hated it.
Yeah, it's blustery out there. No good.
It was okay.
Cool.
It was, but then the boys, they were everywhere. There were so many. There's like 30 boys on the line.
Gotta look out for the boys.
And then he put everyone else in it. And then he put again everybody in the 2 mile.
Yeah.
But they combined all the heats, girls, varsity, boys, all of them.
Just all running at the same time.
And he told us to go easy, light. So we did. And then we hit it 15:55.
Nice.
Sub 8-minute mile.
Hell yeah.
Easy. It was actually
Hell yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go back to this podcast, but you.
Oh my bad.
No, you good, girl. Go
You
Google
good,
it.
girl.
Yeah. But maybe do the cat box before you leave. Yeah. My daughter doesn't like Trump either.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
What does she think about it? Does she have any quick words about what we could do, or do a lot of people her age feel the same way that she is, or is she finding there's people that like MAGA and that she knows, or
Are there a lot of Trumpy kids at your school?
No.
That's good.
No.
There's a lot of walkouts. One of the things I will say that
There was 2 walkouts and they were really successful.
nice. I've been getting calls, like robotic calls that I'm not used to, which are like definitely not when I was in high school and my parents were getting calls that are like, learn your rights in case of ICE raids and like for, immigrant parents and students and stuff like that. So they're like, it's a pretty outspoken anti-Trump, school district. But it informs like every part of everything now in a way that like, I don't know, I didn't feel like when Obama was president, like I didn't feel it with cars. I didn't feel it with eggs. I didn't feel it like with my birth control. Like it just, or access to medications. Like I didn't feel the impacts of whatever is going on in our government the same way I do now, where everything is kind of riled. And I also was younger, so I might have been naive to it. But yeah.
No, I think it was better during Obama's time. I campaigned for both times he was in office, hitting the phones. There was a more positive. We could have had Kamala. We could have done this easy. We wouldn't be in this shit
Yeah.
right now. Everything would be, and I still like. It just sucks that people want to be so arrogant about it because I know people. I was just on the phone with some friends and another friend of ours came on the phone too, and we are talking. He goes, "Well, anything but Kamala. Good thing Kamala didn't get in there." I was like, "Well, this is you liking this?" And you know what? He's fucking German. He had no right to. He has no right. I mean, he can think what he thinks, but he has no say in the matter. He can't vote.
Yeah.
And another right winger, sort of, who is Canadian, and he's not. He's in the middle, but he was laughing. Isn't this funny about Trump? I said, no, there's not a goddamn thing funny about this.
Yeah.
Thing is a funny thing. And I said, and he's saying all this different stuff. I said, wait, you're Canadian. You can't even fucking vote. What am I even talking to you about this? Like you're trying to put this point over to me that is obviously not what I think.
Yeah.
Completely ludicrous. So so this time between talking, it's like, well, that's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
It's like, anyways, which I hate. That's like my pet peeve. I don't like wasting time. But but we'll get through this. I mean, there's Elon. I mean, this isn't sustainable. None of this is sustainable.
I
And,
agree.
and
Yeah, I mean, it's that hyper normalization term I've heard thrown around during this time where it's like at the right before the fall of the Berlin Wall, everybody knew everything was wrong and it couldn't keep going on, but like everybody else was acting like it was normal. I guess like the aristocrats or the people in charge were acting like, no, everything's fine, everything's great. It's like, no, it's not. And we feel this like
well,
deeply.
it's almost like that thing about the. I'm sorry, what were you gonna say? I just got the
No,
strong.
yeah, the thought was just like, yeah, there's this deeply unsettling, like something's wrong type feeling, but I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on. It feels like it's all falling apart and they're just trying to like keep it together with, scotch tape.
Yeah, there's a scene in Dark Hearts of Darkness that
Mm.
well the documentary of Apocalypse Now, and there was
Yeah.
a scene that they cut from the film where these people were like high society people that were living in the forest, in this completely fucking jungle of chaos, and they were having tea on silverware and still having extravagant meals,
Yeah.
and like pretending everything's completely normal in their high society little bubble when people are getting their heads chopped off outside and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This sort of thing like this. I was like at Hama Sushi one time and I ran into Lori Petty. I sort of know her, I guess, a little bit, but she sat down next to me and we're at the bar and she's all, everybody's acting like everything's normal here. And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, I think something had just happened or something crazy had just happened. And and I said, yeah, they are. They're trying to, act normal during crazy times. So they go to do what I'm not getting here to, but I mean, people are aware that shit's weird,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
how we assimilate it. It's almost like a death of somebody, how you kind of take it in and kind
Yeah.
of process what's happening because there's so much. And it's made to confuse you. It's made to disarm you. That's when you're in your most vulnerable is and So you just got to really, for me personally, I'm just focused on because it's dark here, rainy. I'm caretaking. Just focus on the art. And
Yeah.
I've completed more short films this year than in probably my whole life. So, it's like focusing. You got to really can be boring and monotonous, but just like not, focus on the. You're not saying you're not, but like that's what I've been doing to get through this difficult time is to like look at the art, explore that. It's going to be more sleeping, more resting, more like introverted stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, it was a conscious decision. Like when he got elected, is like I'm going to control the things that I have control over. That's where I'm at. That's what I can do. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Can't let my
Yeah.
brain do things that haven't happened. Or I know people that are close to me that will be like, well, this might happen. This isn't happening now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was this big kind of feeling immediately after he was elected, where it was like everyone on CNN was like, hey, guess what? Your life sucks now. And it was like, I kind of want to be the one in charge of deciding if my life sucks or not. And I had to be a little less informed for a while because, yeah, it was, it was giving my anxiety something to latch onto, which isn't great. And I don't know, man, what are you supposed to do when like
Focus on the
the
art.
whole what? Yeah, focus on
Focus
the art.
on
And
the art.
I have been working on projects and stuff like that. I'm never at a lack
You have
for
kids, so that's all.
writing. I do have kids, so we go to theme parks a lot too.
What theme parks do you go to?
Over the summer, I got us 3-day passes to Disney, and we have season passes, year-long passes to Universal. We're big Universal fans. Honestly, I found myself in the mornings when we like take the tram from the parking structure into the park, being like, I'm gonna. I was like getting preemptively angry at how much I knew Disney was gonna nickel and dime me the whole day because that's kind of what it turned into. And I was like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
First,
Personally, I can't stand Disney.
that's
The guy,
fair.
and the guy that owns Marvel is a donate. He was in that billionaire lineup at the when he got inaugurated. This,
Wow,
Disney is like pink mafia, right?
I don't know about that.
All right.
But no, I mean, listen,
They're
I haven't worked.
they're Disney are not good people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I like Universal better.
No,
Uh,
that's Universal's like they're far more left than I don't know. I just like when they remade. You know what? I don't. There's many reasons I could pick on Disney. I mean, besides making the fucking Snow White that they just made, which is like,
I worked on that. I
it's
worked on that.
is it your fault that it's like a big pile of crap? Or no?
No,
Were you the
I
only
worked
good
on
thing in it? Were you the only good?
I mean, if you listen to the audio description, it is described very
Very
well.
well. So you
But
described the real movie.
yeah, I described the movie. And honestly, it took a lot of effort for me to be. I remember like I started working on it, and I had a date afterwards, and I like went to my date, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just spent all day working on this movie. I've got like 2 more weeks of it ahead of me. I really need a drink. Like that was the
Like a
first one of
big
the
drink.
projects I like needed a margarita after to like calm me down. And then I went and saw Baby Girl. But I spent a lot of time with that movie, and all I was doing was trashing it, like really ripping it apart. And then finally, bye, Avery. I was like, I have to come up with one nice thing to say about this movie. And it was that Rachel Zegler she's a very good singer.
That's what
Uh,
every kid starts saying. That's the one thing they're like, okay, we'll start with the things I like about it. She can sing. She should be
yeah,
on Broadway, but maybe not on a major motion picture. They're all trying to nicely say that you got a great voice, kid, but you should go on do theater.
yeah. She's a heck of a singer. But that it stops after that. And like I forgot somehow, like when it got assigned to me, I forgot it was a musical. So when I was watching through it the first time, I was like, oh, okay. Because they started singing, and I was like, oh, these aren't very good
Like, this is gonna
songs.
happen again. This is gonna do this again.
Yeah, I was like, is there going to be more songs to say? I don't remember the songs. And then obviously like the dwarves sing, but I couldn't call them dwarves in the movie. The miners sing, and then every song, like the whistle while you work and dig, 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 all of that is like remix, and they go out 4 times too long, and it's all bizarre. And yeah, it's just hi ho, all of that. It's weird.
It didn't need to be.
Um,
It didn't need to be made. It didn't need. It should have left alone. You
yeah,
can't.
you're right.
You
I
can't
agree.
translate that. That's a. You can't translate that from 1902 or what 1904 or
I
1924.
thought it was like 1930 something. Yeah.
1930s. Like, you can't. It doesn't translate. It doesn't. And it's also what I've heard, because I've kind of been down a little rabbit hole with this, is that if you're not going to make it like the original, then why even make it in the first place?
Yeah.
It's why would you not put some of the best scenes, or hire, small people to actually, which would have been far more better. But
Yeah. You know what was
if they
interesting?
redo, yeah, sorry.
They also just had in the cast not the seven dwarves. They just had people with dwarfism like in the village as part of the cast. And so, you know, and then the voices of the seven dwarves, I think only two were voiced by little people. And so it was very like, God, what's happening? This whole thing's a
The
mess.
physics don't work. The physics don't. Once you start adhering, going outside the physics of something, like how a good example I like to use is Gladiator. The movie with Gladiator was a gladiator movie. It
Yeah.
it knew what it was. It never deviated out of that,
Yeah.
except for one shot where they did a shot over top of the Coliseum, which would have been, the topography shot. Besides
Okay.
that, they remained really into that mold of they didn't deviate outside of their bubble. And
Mhm.
when you start having little people with CG, it's just like the brain's like not what it's not making, and plus they're hideous to look at. These
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and there was such a thing like in the script, they're not referred to as that. In the, it was too much. It was a large undertaking,
and
and I
Gal
was not,
Gadot can't possibly act. Apparently, she can't
no,
act.
she's not a good actor, and she did no favors for herself with singing either. Like for as bad of an actor as she is, she really cannot sing. And like I didn't understand any of any of it. I didn't
Like, what are
understand.
we doing here? What are we? Because they can do this. Like, a lot of this stuff is made some very broad, and you know this more than anybody, but for multiple markets. Not so it
Yeah,
can be translated into Taiwanese, Japanese, any language, and mean virtually similarly to what they intended the original story to be
yeah,
that they're trying to tell in English. So sometimes they do it so broad that you're left with all water and no chunks in the soup. It's just you know what I mean? Maybe that's
yeah.
analogy, but this margarita's hit me. But yeah, and well, that's not the only reason to hate Disney. But
Sure. No. But I want to say, like, after I finished and turned in this is like my first Disney theatrical release, and my manager who proofed it was like, "You did a really good job here. I'm very proud of you." I was just like, "How come it's got to be on the worst movie?" Like, it's just,
yeah,
uh, you
well, you
know,
polish a turd, so that's good.
what?
You're polishing a turd.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, in the unsighted audience members will have a very good understanding of what is happening on screen, but just when you get those high profile releases, you want them to be hits. I did The Substance last year, and that got a lot of attention, and I got a lot of good feedback from unsighted audience members about the audio description I wrote for it and how much they enjoyed it. And I don't know, it just when you work on something, you can imagine you put so much effort into something like this, and just for it to be a flop I don't know. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, they gotta, the media landscape is, anyways, it's a lot different than when it was in the 80s and the 90s, and it's just interesting that there's regurgitation. Like I when I everything is always being remade. We grew up
Yeah.
knowing that everything's being remade. There's no original story. And then they do this thing where they sort of just make it normal to re and to they can't leave something alone. They got to make 18 Spider-Mans.
Yeah. There was a lot
Like,
left to say there. Yeah.
there's not really too much to say anymore. I mean, they already sort of did it like over and over in the Superman that's coming out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
You
I mean,
already had the hottest guy play Superman. What's the point? Like,
and also there's a time and a thing. Those movies were written what in the 50s or 60s when they were making those original storylines,
yeah.
and they're translating them to 2025. That it did the translate. There's lots of lost. It's a different. They made those heroes for a certain reason. There's all those wars, and there's different they're Stan Lee's and DC Comics, and but like those are old archetypes. We need new things, but then maybe nothing is new. Maybe we'll see Batman like a 50th Batman movie, or whatever. I don't know. As it gets old, I don't know. I like originality, but I don't know.
Yeah. I'm
It'll-
hoping the tides are turning with that because, yeah, when they released like just the fucking like teaser for the Doctor Doom shit, and there was like 30 names on stage I was like, are we not done with this? Like, are we not, isn't the novelty of it worn off? Like, who cares anymore about these story arcs? And I guess it's like I'm getting really fatigued with the action movies and the how they try to keep it relevant, and it just, who gives a shit who's in it anymore? It doesn't matter to
yeah,
me. I just want to see something I've never seen before.
the day
I'm
of the movie
tired.
star is dead.
Yeah.
There are no more movies. Maybe Tom Cruise is the last one, but
Yeah.
and we just RIP Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
That's a big one. But yeah, I remember I was on the Doors set on that when they were filming the Doors.
Mhm.
I actually was in the Doors movie
Nice.
for like a second, and I'm on the back. I'm on the back of the album cover as well. You know that album cover where he's jumping up in the air and he's on stage. There's a
Hmm.
little out of focus guy in white because I was wearing a sailor outfit with his arms up. That's me.
Nice.
I want to buy that album again. I got to find it. It's a classic. But and I ran into him on the street before. He was a nice guy seemed like a nice guy, but he was also not working. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, the movie stars are like banking on like what they and there's gonna be more names added to that too. And then people
I,
are talking about what names weren't on there. Like
yeah,
whole,
I just
it's just
can't.
like who cares? Who cares? What's happening right now in reality is way more trippier. And also, how many times? And these are like basically dance films. People are shooting. How many times can you flop around, dance around, shoot things,
Yeah.
and throw something at it and bounce around? And we're not in the same time zone anymore than when these first started coming out, like in the 15 years ago. We're not
Yeah.
the same as space mentally. So they're
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree. I'm
But they
tired of
also
it.
do this for a market, though. This isn't just made. These are movies that are made for the world. So people,
I just don't, yeah, it's just I don't feel my taste is particularly unique in any way. And so I feel like I don't know, maybe I don't feel that fucking special in things I enjoy. It's like my favorite movies, people go, oh, I love that movie. Like, I like Knives Out. I like Iron Giant. Like nothing that'd be like so obscure you haven't heard of it. And so when it's like we're into the 30th Marvel title and this shit has been going on since 2008, like, oh my God, am I tired? Um,
Yeah, it's
I
fatigue.
can't.
They can't do it anymore. It's not. It has lost its luster. Like the electric state that the Russo brothers just did. Have you seen anything about that?
No, I
Pile of
heard it's not.
garbage. It's
Oh, it's garbage.
it's garbage. Just like Snow White. It's like a pile of garbage. And so these people have apparently lots of money to waste.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Like
I
$300 million is a lot of that's a lot of cabbage.
And where does it even fucking go? It's not like our economy is booming so well from these big pictures. Like it must,
International markets.
yeah, I don't know.
So Trump,
I'm
Trump,
tired. No, no Trump.
Trump. Did you see that guy walked off, that country music singer walked off of SNL?
Yeah, was that notable in some way? What was the big deal?
I guess he said, I'm going back to God's country. After
Uh,
he walked to
Good
this,
for him.
just let him go.
I don't know. Yeah, like he doesn't want to be here. There's no mistake.
He should have signed off. There's like half the cast is like gay or trans or whatever, and like these are theater people. They're comedians. They're not going to be MAGA. I mean,
Yeah.
these are.
Oh, is he a big MAGA guy?
Yeah, he's a country music singer.
Okay, so that's why he was like, I can't be around all of these
I guess
different hair colors.
he was trying to make he was trying to make a statement, I think, by walking in front of the camera at when they're all on stage at the end, saying goodbye.
Yeah, I get it. I also like he doesn't care about me. I don't care about him. Like this man's behavior has no impact on my life. And
Exactly.
I don't really, yeah. It all makes me tired. It's like I got this way about the Kendrick Lamar Drake stuff last year because people were like so involved, and you'd be like, oh, I don't know about that. And like without even checking if you wanted to know about it, they would just launch into it and be like, so then, and you're like, no, listen, I don't know about it by choice. These people, they don't care about me. They don't even know who I am. And my opinion of them does not matter. And I need other things in my brain. My brain should not hold this information.
Yeah, there's no reason I should be thinking about Will Smith slapping fucking Chris Rock.
Exactly. Neither one of them are here in my life to help me in any way. And they're bad behavior.
They weren't there for you when you're sick.
Yeah. So fuck them. But the people who could be here helping me when I'm sick are all wrapped up about Drake and Kendrick Lamar. And it's like, okay, cool. So you care more about these fucking idiots than another person right in front of you. And yeah, I mean, it's a little self-righteous, but I find it kind of disgusting. That's all,
Yeah, well, we gotta get up. Have you I tried to get off of I got off of Facebook for a week, but then I did some more work. I canceled TikTok. So and then I think I got rid of I don't know if I got rid of Instagram. I was still holding on that, but I went on to Blue Sky. But like it is so hard to get off of Facebook. Like I redesigned my website so it was attached to my Facebook. So to reopen my website, I had to go through Facebook. And I reopened that account, but during this tumultuous time, but a lot of people are talking on Facebook, but it is a hard thing to get rid of. I get rid of TikTok. So that's a step that's one way to do it. Are you feeling the need to get off of social media?
I only when I'm in a real dark place do I, and then it's like, shit, Meg's gone for 6 months where I don't care anymore. I don't care what people are doing. I don't care what they're saying. I don't care what they are portraying.
Where they're at, what they're eating,
No.
selfies. There's nothing to like anymore. We're doing the same thing over and over again. Are we getting old?
Yeah.
It's like, how many years have you been on Facebook?
I was on Facebook since it started. So I was 18 when it started. My school was one of the first 100 schools on Facebook. So, and it was back when it was just for college kids, and it was great. Oh my God. It was so fun. It was the Wild West. You could just hey, you're really cute. And they'd be like, oh my God. And then you'd go out to dinner with them.
Yeah.
And it like, or,
All you had to
and,
do back then is, yeah.
hey, you're cute. And to somebody in your school that you thought was cute. And like the privacy was so limited that like people would post photo albums and you didn't have to know them at all. You could still see it on their profile. So the privacy was non-existent, but you still felt pretty okay because it was like limited to everybody in your college and you're all pretty much up to the same things. That's why you'll see like 2005 Facebook pictures are like, somebody in front of one of those big fucking MacBooks that are colorful, drinking a beer in a dorm room,
Yeah.
or like really raucous like parties. But there was no political stuff. It was more like, are you fucking or are you not? Like that was real. Like, are you in a relationship? What's the deal? Who are you in a relationship with? That was like a badge of honor. And then when it opened up to everybody, it was like, well, what now? It just wasn't the same. And then
There's a way of migrating off of it. Oh, I'm sorry. What were you going to say? Sorry.
I mean, on the one hand, it's like sometimes I just need validation. So I post a photo of me and looking good, and I want people to thirst after it, right? You can do the same on Instagram.
Are you a thirst trap? You're a thirst trap then.
They're very modest for like thirst traps. It's you're not seeing a lot of skin, but I look good. I look good. But I long since drew back from arguing with people over politics. I realized it's not a way to change anybody's opinion. But I do notice like, oh, I really can't start my day this way. I can't be drawn to Instagram and Facebook because that shit does affect where my thoughts go in a way that like I can't have it steering the ship that way. I need to be more in control. And it's bizarre too, because like if you look at Instagram's algorithm, a lot of people ascribe it like some malintent or that it's evil, but it's just a perfect tool. And so if you really, it's reflecting you, it's reflecting your interests, it's reflecting your insecurities, it's reflecting all of these things about you. So you really, really like sat and scrutinized the things that are showing up for you and why, you would probably get a pretty interesting glimpse into your psyche over how you feel about yourself, about love and relationships and your body and your intelligence and your wealth and your prospects and your future. All of those things are kind of shown to you through this tool, and it hits me in the wrong way sometimes,
Yeah. It's like yeah. Sometimes you'll find yourself scrolling.
Yeah.
And that's I like stop. What are we doing? Like, because I'll listen to like podcast painting, kind of intermittently look up something but like when you start to just get scrolling, it's like it's like gambling. It's that or like when people go to arcades or something.
Yeah.
It's that visual. It's better where everybody knows what it is right now, but everyone's complicit with it, so it doesn't matter. Everyone's locked in. Everyone's signed on to do it. It's okay. Yay!
There's seriously times where I'm like, I can't know more, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, no, how did this get back in my hand? But yeah, it's like, yeah, Al, gotta put this, like, I actually need my phone for work because I have all these authenticators to get onto various,
do you use
systems.
Signal?
And so it's like, oh, great. Now I can't even just go and put my phone in a drawer or something to try to put physical distance between me and this device, because having it right here is, if I'm not responding to the text, I'm wondering where my fucking texts are. It's just bizarre. It's tough.
Horrible. Yeah, the week that I was off of Facebook, not a problem.
Yeah.
It's actually quite lovely.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
recommend it.
And the other thing too, it's funny that like, I don't like dating apps and people are like, well, how do you date? And it's like, I don't know, it still happens.
Look at me. Look at
Yeah.
me. This is
You
how
can
do I
meet
not date?
but also just like if you have any amount of charisma and are aware of the world around you, like literally if you aren't on your phone looking at people you could date and you just were around at a bar, at a restaurant, at the fucking grocery store. Sometimes I go on walks and I make conversations with people and I get dates. It's that easy to connect with people. But for some reason, like even when I got off of social media, there was a part of me that's like, oh no, like how will I get more dates? I don't know.
Dates,
And
dates, dates,
dates, how will they find me? And again, it was that easy of just like, oh, they find you. If they don't go through your DMs, they'll text you, they'll email you, you'll run into them in public. It all works itself out.
I was dating. Dating is hard, man. I haven't
Tell
dated
me
in a
about it.
while. It sucks. You couldn't get any business in LA. I guess I outgrew it. Anyways, it's easier for a woman maybe sometimes. But dating in LA I found it to be tumultuous. Like when I did find a girl, they're they would be crazy.
I found, so I am only like in the market for a serious relationship,
Yeah.
and I show up as a person who's like spent a lot of time. I've been predominantly single the last 5 years with a few earnest attempts at relationships in between. And like, I show up as a person who's like trying to communicate correctly and just appropriately my expectations. And it scares people like it's too official for them.
Uh,
Or, I find no, it's hard to find a guy who wants a relationship. Most people are like, I don't know what I'm looking for. And it's like, well, okay, I'm not doing another one of these. And then if you find what you're looking for, you let me know. But I'm not gonna sit here and worry about you in my life for
yeah.
months on end for it to go nowhere, for you to decide you don't want a relationship. Um, it's tough, and yeah, I mean, I've also run into it too, where you meet someone nice, and all of a sudden, oh, they actually are like deeply unwell, and
They're
I'm in
nuts.
some trouble now because my life is commingled with this person, or you just get your heart broken. And so it's like, I don't know, man.
It's the breaking up that gets me. Like last time I don't so it's hard because I come from I don't know, I came from a dysfunctional family
Mm,
for sure. But like and you bring those roles into your life into your 20s and you end up repeating the experiences that you grew up with and
yeah,
recreating that dysfunctionality because it's a safe place for you to go
yeah,
because it's familiar. And
yes,
then you sabotage relationships and you're not honest. Like I remember breaking up when I broke up with this one girl that I was actually really in love with. And but I hadn't seen that kind of focus on me with her heart chakra. And it was a lot to when she put the shine the light on me. I was like, whoa, that's a lot of like love. And but I got intimidated from it. It was very like a lot, overwhelmed. And I sabotaged it, but I actually really did like her.
yeah,
And that was the last time that's happened. I was like, okay, well, I fucked that up.
yeah,
Um, and that was could have been, but then again, I know people that are my age or I'm not sure even your age. I don't even know how old you are, but like that have gotten divorces,
yeah.
that have had kids, and oh, you went through something like that. Maybe you're not married right now, right?
I'm
Uh,
not married and I haven't been for years.
but and I was raised like growing up in those, and I never wanted to recreate that. So I
Yeah,
avoided that as much as possible, to my chagrin, because those are probably. But then again, if I had gotten with them, I might be divorced by now. So I don't know. I don't, But I also had art though too. So I had I had a safe place to go to.
Yeah, I think like I'm happy for like it's taken a while for me to like understand what led me into bad relationships and forgive myself for like not having the qualities that I needed to be able to identify good and bad traits in a partner and uh understand, at least intellectually, that I have value and worth and I bring a lot and I'm lovable and I'm deserving of love. But then there's like, no, like just entertaining the idea of getting involved with somebody you like can get kind of scary because it's like, but what if he sees how you wear the same pajamas while you work or something? And you're like, that who could ever make space in their heart for a lady in day old pajamas? And that seems so bad versus like, oh, I'm an excellent communicator and I'm an empathetic person who has spent a lot of time working on herself. And my biggest goal is to be a good partner to somebody because I really want to experience a healthy relationship. And I don't do meth till my teeth fall out or something. I'm, all things considered, a healthy person who's intelligent and all these things. But for some reason, I'm like, no, man. First in the morning, you fart real loud, and there's no place for that in this world. Like it's just,
Farts are always funny. They're always, they're always, they're always.
But even just getting past that illusion of limitless choice out here is difficult. You have to find like other disillusioned people. And because it's like, yeah, I could go on any app and I could swipe through and I could launch an app and within 12 hours, 150 people will have liked my profile. If I give it a week, that number is over 1,200. Wow. And but it's always like, it's insanity where it's like, okay, if let's say out of a match of 10 people, like 3 or 4 of those guys are just not even going to respond. One will say something so disgusting and sexual right off the bat that I cannot possibly fathom that they are a safe person. It like turns me off. And one is modest there. That could be as many as like 2 to 3. And then the 4 or so people I might go on dates with out of that batch of 10, one will cancel at the last minute, never reschedule. The other one, it will be, kind of like, okay, I can't, it'll be like an out of work actor, sorry, or like a person who might be a little MAGA, or, maybe you meet someone you genuinely connect with, but that's not very often. And when I say that, like, that's multiple batches of 10 of like, oh, you and this person are on the same page, you're enjoying each other's company, you want to see each other a lot. That's pretty rare. I don't think like I've had so many people just the last guy I matched with on an app, he was a himbo by all accounts. I'm excited to tell you this story. It gets pretty graphic. Can I tell you this?
What's a himbo?
A himbo is like a male bimbo. They're rich. They don't look very smart. They're nice to look at. They're in shape. And I was like, maybe, well, like, fucking, since when has being smart made me happy? Why do I need to have a smart partner?
Oh, okay. I know what you're getting at. Okay, I want to hear this. And I'm going to pee real quick.
Okay.
And I have it because I like this. I know where, okay, hold on one second.
Okay.
You can talk to them if you want about something you like or whatever. We can either cut or edit, but the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you.
I can put you on full screen.
All right. I don't know what to talk about. I had dental work done earlier today, and it was the first time they gave me the gas that makes things better for a little bit. And I don't know, I only had like two fillings, two cavities that they had to take care of. And like, I think I maybe was just more afraid of like how I was going to feel than anything else because I was on Ativan and this gas, and it was just like another world. Like it was not nearly as scary as I had made it out to be internally. And he's back.
Ah, you know one thing I love about Oregon?
Hmm.
I like peeing outside.
Yeah, that's good for you, man. Like I love that a guy can just go and piss in a bush. Like
It's so
I've
nice.
always been so jealous. Whenever I'm in a relationship with a guy, I like to when they're in the bathroom, I'm like, can I hold it? I'm like,
Oh, you do one of those. I had a girl
yeah, I
like
just want to know. I want to know if you can feel the pee coming out, like if you're touching the shaft, and like how much fun you could have with it. And I
having a
like,
penis is so much fun.
yeah, no,
It's a laugh riot.
I can't believe the things you guys get up to with those goddamn things.
Yeah, it's
Um,
like I used to when I was a child, when I was a little kid, I used to shoot the peas. No, the I used to shoot the flies on the bathroom wall with my pea. I was pretty good.
nice. Yeah, pretty good aim.
Yeah, oh, great aim. Yeah, that was something my childhood activity with it. Also, my father told me a story that in my it's childhood story. I was a little kid. I was just learning to use pee in the toilet,
Yeah.
and my father had raised a lid, and so I can get my little pee pee up there over the thing, and the lid came down on it.
Oh, it's broken forever.
Yeah, they said that I screamed so loud. It was like almost broke the glass or something. Like
Oh.
I was like, yeah, that's my father had a joke. He's all, well, hopefully if he's lucky, it'll grow like a callus on it.
Well, I don't know that I would like that.
It is
Uh,
bent to the left a little bit. I don't know if I have that pure Peroni thing. That's too TMI. I didn't know what that was. I had a girlfriend go, "Oh my God, it goes this way." That's all, and I was like, "Oh God, I didn't realize that it was different than other people's." Anyways, we're exposing ourselves on this show. But it works pretty good. But what was your himbo story?
okay, so I matched with this guy and on a new app called Surf. And I was like, this will be the one
What's it
that
called?
cures
What's it called?
Surf. And it's trash. It's not
Third?
anything.
Third?
Surf,
Surf.
surf.
Surf. So it's just
You have
it's like farmers dating. It's like surfers dating.
no, it's not at all. It's not necessarily that, but you have like all of the people on the whole app are available to you right away. So every person, period. And so I match with this himbo, and he's like, "Oh, you're so pretty." I uh I can't believe I'm gonna tell this story. I'll leave out like the worst parts.
No, no,
But
no, please go deep, go deep. Our audience craves it. The margarita, I'm in a great, this is great. Don't censor yourself. Go for it.
okay, so right from the jump, he's like, "Hey, you're so pretty. I'm at a bachelor party in Arizona right now, and all the people I'm with are former college athletes, and they're walking to and from the showers naked, and it's making me feel really self-conscious." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, "Yeah, because like they're all African Americans and really well endowed, and they are really comfortable with each other." And I was like, "This is a wild thing to just bring up first topic of like a dating app thing, but okay, I guess this guy's a little weird." And then
Tell me more.
yeah,
He's a
exactly.
little weird, and I'm listening.
Go on. But I was like not sure. I don't know, like what a way to start a conversation. So then he was like kind of intimating like I think I'm a really secure guy, and I think the most intimate form of love between a couple is when, God, I can't believe I'm saying this, a man like has sex with my woman in front of me, and I can hold her and, be a part of that. There's just nothing more intimate. It's so special. And I was like, uh, what? And then, that's something. And then the conversation, this is over the course of like a week, slowly devolves to him like giving out my number to these apparently well-endowed guys he's on the bachelor party with, and them like trying to make plans for all of us to meet. And I was like, this is getting really out of control. And at one point,
Wait,
he
you're
said,
still, but the funny thing is, you're still talking to him about this, so you must be intrigued or something. I'm a sick.
it's all like a thought experiment at this point. I'm not like involved in any way. And then at some point, he's like, yeah, and my dad lives in the Hollywood Hills and he's super rich and he's a bachelor. And I was like, cool. And then he's like, you can do whatever you want if you're with me. You could have sex with any of these well-endowed guys. You could have sex with my dad. And I was like,
menu. He's giving you a menu.
Yeah, but he said you could have sex with my dad. And I was, and then you can just come home and tell me about it, and I'll find it so erotic. And I was like, I beg your unbelievable pardon. What was that? You would like me to have sex with your dad? And he was like, yeah. Is that weird? And I was like, yeah. And then we didn't talk for a couple days. And in the meantime, these strange men were texting me like, hey, let's meet up. It's all of us are going to meet up and meet you. And I was like, I'm not going to get railed by like 5 really hung guys. No, what is
not in a
this?
row. Maybe can we make appointment for week 2 weeks? That
was the thing where I was like, in this scenario, every time I'm going to be intimate with my partner, there needs to be this guy. And so, yeah. And so at some point, the guy is like, I have a really small penis. And I was like, okay, checks out. And he's like, no, wait, look. And I was like, and he sent me a picture of his dick, and it was so small. It was a small,
like a GG Allen sort of small, or like it's like a micro penis.
Yes,
like a belly button.
Yeah, and he was like, and I asked, I was like, is that you hard? And he went, yeah. Isn't it small? It's so small. I could never please you. And I was like, I guess this is all making a lot more sense, but like. And then he was like, you should send this to everybody you know and humiliate me. And I was like, this is getting insane. And so I stopped responding. And then a couple days later, he texts me and he starts having like a conversation about his tiny penis again. And I say something to the effect of, every conversation we have ends up being about your tiny penis. And I find it exhausting. And then he blocked me on Instagram immediately and Twitter and all of it because I said I didn't want to keep talking about his penis. And I was like, I don't think I can ever do anything else on these godforsaken apps. Like this is it. Like I've had every experience. The only ones left are to be killed by somebody. I think.
Yeah, you're working up to being murdered. Yeah, you're working towards that.
I might have been murdered in like maybe I would have just been fucked to death, but like it was just getting to be too much. It's too weird. I can't do it anymore, man.
Yeah, it's rough out there. It's a rough place. Micro penis, cuck. Yeah, there's like
it was like incest too. There was like an incest level to it. It was wild.
Yeah.
I didn't ever meet the man, but God bless him. I hope he finds what he's looking for.
I think he already found it. I think he probably just does stuff like that. It sounds like
honestly, it felt like I was just a conduit for him to have sex with a really hung black guy. I think he just wants to have sex with these men.
I think he just did he see pictures of you?
Yeah.
Is he watching this video right now?
No.
Can we show his penis on the thing real quick?
I would be happy to show you that.
Can we put it up on the thing real quick? Let's put it up.
Do you want me to? I can't tell if this is a pic. Do you want me to show his penis or not?
Sure, show his penis for a second. I'll look away. I'll
Okay,
post
hold
the
on.
book.
It's
See if you guys can identify this man. Will this get me
okay.
blocked on YouTube? But it's probably so small that it won't look like a penis.
Let's see if I can
I don't want
find
to get
it.
blocked on YouTube.
You're gonna get blocked on YouTube. It might be quite something to like
Interesting
screen.
that you saved it though. Is this like
Well,
a
I sent it to another friend of mine because I wanted to insult the man, and so I it was like, but also he like the guy was like had some type of humiliation
Oh, do you know
fetish.
what? If we do this, if we do this as a what do they call it, like a public service announcement or like a doctoral thing, like an explanation of what a small penis looks like, and if you have this, this is what it looks like. Some sort of
Yeah, I'm sure they need that's explained to
so that
them
they
what a
don't,
small
so I don't have
penis
to
looks
blur it
like.
out, so I don't have to edit it out. This is why people come to Brett's with Friends podcast. It's for these riveting moments. This is a Brett's with Friends exclusive.
Let me see. I'm trying so hard to find his
But it's so
micro.
small. It's so small you probably can't find it.
Yeah. Uh, I feel like that I'm letting everyone down right now.
Ah, you're not. No one's. This is just between me and you. No one's really. If
Here,
they
I
were
think
let
I
down
know.
this easy, they shouldn't have been here in the first place. So I wonder if this, because I got. Have you noticed any while you're searching for that? Have you noticed like any like I had some videos recently blocked on YouTube that I was doing movie reviews for. Has there been a thing that YouTube has been doing recently that more blocking of material? Have you found? Is that just me? Is there
You
something?
know, I don't really post too much on YouTube, so I'm not
Okay,
sure
no, no.
how
Okay.
things have changed.
If anybody out
I
there in the audience knows, let me know because
oh,
something's
I
happened.
found it. Oh, I found it.
Okay, should I look or not? I'm not scared.
I
Okay,
want you to look. It's just a small penis.
wait, what?
Yeah, he put it in a condom for some reason. And
He put a condom on the small. That's a small peepee. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And then he said that was him hard. Did you imagine? Uh
Yeah. Makes me feel pretty good about my own life.
yeah. I was like, I just got, general issue, genitalia, nothing remarkable. It's
He looks like
regular.
he's not even trying. He looks like he didn't even try to put the condom on correctly. I mean,
Well, I guess
he should get a smaller collar, maybe one of those things for the pinky, those little rubber
yeah,
things.
they put him on like, yeah. I don't know I can't help this man, clearly.
No, he doesn't want to be helped. He's already got a fetish. He's talking to hot chicks about his little weenie.
Sick, yeah, my God. Ugh.
People are trippy, man. Isn't it weird how people are like if you think about people like humans, we are the weirdest fucking things. Like putting shit up our asses or like people
Yeah.
like oh this ball wound up my ass somehow. I don't know, sorry. Like what are we
Sorry.
doing here? Like what are we like with the yeah, it's wild. People are fucking weird. It's trippy. It's
But
trippy.
I guess like it's just a testament to how much I want to find love that like I talked to that man for a week.
Well, you also
Yeah,
you're also a writer, so you're probably mining for material at some point. This could be useful. See, it worked out. It worked out. Without that, with he hadn't done that, we had to show that the people the small people.
true. Good God. I don't know, man. Yeah, it's rough out there. But again, like it's so funny. You can just like go anywhere and meet somebody. That's the other thing too that I find funny is like inevitably if you are just a woman who is in a public place that is like a bar, a restaurant, or anywhere people gather, a man will come up and talk to you. If especially if you have the energy of a woman who is approachable. And also if I'm out,
How do you know when a woman's approachable?
I don't
The
know.
telltale signs.
Usually they're not hunched over and doing that,
You go like this.
keeping stop. I don't want to talk to anybody. A smiling.
Hats are a big one. When girls wear hats on and don't the visor like that Melania hat that she wore at the presidential Trump thing, that big round thing. You got
Okay.
that black hat. So
What
we
about
with the Trump thing where he tried to kiss her.
Oh,
He couldn't kiss her because the hat was blocking her.
that was smart on her part.
Yeah, girls do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you
I
know
think,
when?
I
How do you know when a girl likes you?
they put their hand on your arm.
Pee-pee? On your small pee-pee?
Yeah, sure. I'll look at your tiny dick. Oh boy, that is small. I mean, there's a nervosity to it.
Confirmed.
Like,
What?
there's just listen, seeing a penis out of context ruins my day. Like every time I'm like going about my day and I see a penis I wasn't intending to see, like I'm like, God damn it, I just saw penis. And it like bothers me. You have to be like somebody I really am excited about in order for me to like entertain looking at your penis. But to just see a dong out of context is such a bummer. It's not it's like if you were to just see a topless lady, it wouldn't fuck you up. You'd be like, oh, I saw
Oh
some
no, no,
boobies.
titties are always nice.
Yeah, it's that math isn't
It's a
transferable.
win-win. It's a win-win. Always.
Always. But to see a dick, it's just there. It's very grotesque.
It's
Super dramatic. I just can't see it.
Yeah, that thing with like people wanting to show their dicks. All that Anthony Weiner guy. Out of all the people in the world, Weiner shouldn't be showing his wiener. But it's a compulsive sex thing. It's like the gambling thing. It's this like, or the scrolling. It's like this. They're addicted to this. Getting a reaction out of people or something like that. Reaction out of people. I don't know.
Yeah, but I remember like in 2008 when dick pics were first really starting to be a thing,
Who?
being like, oh my God, it just every day a penis, and you'd say, please stop sending me these, and they would be like, now, and they keep sending them.
So, on average, 1 out of 10 women. How many women on average get dick pics?
I have to imagine.
All?
I mean, if you're out there dating, I feel like
all women get dick pics.
Right?
Is it?
I mean, if you're out there dating, I have to imagine you've seen your fair share of dongs. It's actually kind of insidious because I remember I had somebody I thought I was good friends with in 2008, like my last year of college. And months into our friendship, he was dating somebody and he was like, do you want to see my dick? And I didn't know what to say. And he sent me his dick and balls. And I was like, nah. I know
the penis is so unappealing. We're ashamed of it, but we loved it. We love having it for my, it's good to have. I like it, but it's not something that's woman pretty. It's got curves. It's like it's like a thing. It's like a thing that we have, which is super fun to have, and I love having it. But like as a visually stimulating as a vagina or a breast or a girl's ass or thighs or calves, or feet or whatever, in the neck. I mean, there's so many things about a woman visually to love, and then you got this dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to ogle hunks, and it's like a thing I'm known for at my work is just being a horny idiot. And anytime in my work that there is a character that's like even remotely muscular, I lose my fucking mind, and I'm like the brawny farmer with the muscly arms. Like I go nuts.
You're like a big muscle guy.
Oh, I mean, to objectify, yeah. Like, how could you not love? I don't have a type per se, but I am not gonna ever not find a handsome buff man.
Like how buff do you go? Do you go like the guys that do go on the shows buff? Like
I don't like it when they are like swollen. Do you know what I mean? Like, and they're
like Gold's Gym, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, not natty. I don't like that. But like just to find a guy with a good physique, especially if they're like flaunting it. Why wouldn't I be excited about that? Why wouldn't I stare at that? I'm in awe of it. Also, like even a buff lady, I would be like, look at the buff lady. Like it wouldn't bother. I wouldn't be
Look
like,
at the buff lady. Oh my
dude,
God.
look at the buff
Wow.
lady. Oh my God.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, wow, wow.
oh,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm not sure where I was going all that. I don't want to see their dicks. Just because I like a buff guy doesn't mean I now want to see his penis as well. I want to just see his big, strong, thick thighs, and I want to squeeze them. I don't necessarily have to see their penis or have sex with them in order to appreciate their
There's
place in this world. Yes.
yes, yeah, yeah. I can appreciate somebody's beauty without, I love I saw Gabrielle Reese in person. She's like 7 feet tall, gorgeous Amazonian. She goes out the Laird, the
Mm.
surfer, and uh, she was like a goddess. There's much appreciation just oh, just visually, just like I didn't have to see her vagina to realize that she was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Um, but that would have been nice. Yeah. So where are we right now? We're in the future. We're on a Wednesday. We're crawling
Yeah.
out of winter. Things looking up over in LA. Do you feel like the momentum's recharging? Because the Olympics are going to be coming? Do you feel like there's any momentum, or is everyone sad?
I think everybody's kind of in this weird, uh, like pause, say this holding pattern where, at least in terms of like professionally, no one's having such a great year that like we're making money and everybody's got more than enough. Like it's this very strange energy around here in terms of the industry. I'm not really sure how we're going to prepare for the Olympics, but it's just not been a great series of events with all the strikes and then the fires. I'm hopeful that as a little bit of time passes since the fires, we'll be in a place where like people feel like they need to rebuild LA, and that includes bringing more work back to here and creating more jobs in the industry. So we'll see, you know.
Yeah, it's I mean, I keep on waiting. I'm hoping that the PCH opens up. That's
I hope so too. Yeah.
that's sort of my
Yeah.
night to come back and try to make some sales and stuff like that there and hang out with you guys. But yeah, I mean, we're going. Should we try to wrap it up? Should we? Is there any?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Hey, we should have ended on the small penis, but we went a little long.
I mean, I could talk more. Oh, but,
Do you have anything that's coming up that you're excited about? That
do I have anything that's coming up that I'm excited about? I
I
don't
mean,
have any performances or anything. Uh, so I apologize. No, not really. But you know, I'm always working on new material and have projects in development that I hope maybe we'll be able to talk about in more depth the next time I come on.
yeah. So what do you like to eat? What's your favorite go-to food? Because you're a fairly healthy person. Do you
Uh,
what do you like to make? Are you a cook?
I'm not really a home cook. I cook for my kids, but just because my time is pretty limited, we've
Like
been definitely.
frozen pizzas and stuff.
Yeah, like I'll do a thing called like dipping dinners where I make giant nuggets and mozzarella sticks and carrots. Or I'll make us burgers with mac and cheese and like air fried broccoli. Uh, but when I eat, it's a healthy mix of like any type of Asian food or just chicken wings. I really like wings. I like to eat them in my house so I can be as like visceral as possible with them. It's tough to eat wings on a date, without scaring the guy off.
That's
Um, what?
you gotta. That's just next time you say it, you gotta warn you.
Yeah,
It's gonna get a little weird.
it'll be the happiest I've ever been.
A wing might wind up on your face. Stuff
Just
gets
go with
flashy.
it.
Do
No,
you does Paul have anything coming up? Is he gonna do any more show or things? Babra gonna do anything? Babs?
I'm
Right?
gonna I'm gonna reconnect with Babs. I haven't been too in the loop on that stuff. I would like to start going back to more comedy during my free time this summer. So I'm hoping to get over there.
Do you listen to, do you know who Freedom is? Freedom podcast? It's like Lauren Lapkus, Paul F. Tompkins, and John Ackerman.
Oh,
They have
oh
like,
wow. No, I didn't know about it.
you can find them on Spotify or YouTube or whatever, or no, Spotify, but it's called Freedom. That's a very fun. Do you like sketch comedy or
Yes,
improv?
sure.
You know Lauren Lapkus is?
Yes.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you need something to laugh, that's a great Freedom podcast.
All right.
And also
Check it out.
the David Feldman podcast. If you want to, I think he used to be a comic. I think I even might have met him one time. Maybe it was at Paul's, but he does a David Feldman does this podcast called The Mop Up, which runs down um, current events that
Okay.
I recommend to you and anybody else who wants to get some interesting stuff. But well, I'll let you go. Gosh, I feel like I've needed. What do you want to do for the future? What do you hope? What do you want to see happen this year? It's early. Do you crystal ball it is what's going to happen? Are we okay? Is everything gonna be all right?
Oh my God, that's a lot at once. For me, on a personal level, I would like to just have a modicum of peace and some stability in my personal and professional life. And so that's what I'm aiming for, is the absence of yearning and a bit of inner stillness, a quietude that I am not afforded often. I don't know what that looks like. I don't actually know if that's a possibility. I don't know how much of power any one of us has anymore as Americans, our freedom. I'm intimidated by all of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sorry. Was that not
no, that's a great. That's bad. No, it's just no. That's how you feel. How do you achieve this stillness and this? How are you going to retain peace?
I think I'm just going to stop crying. I think I'm going to, this is a wacky little anecdote, but at one point I was like, if I just did exactly what I want without talking myself out of it, what would that day look like? And it was during the fires. And exactly what I wanted was to drive over to Hot Wings Cafe, have chicken wings and a root beer, then while driving home, stop somewhere to buy a bunch of mini M&Ms, and then come home and get in pajamas and watch the new Wallace and Gromit movie. And I was like, I didn't have to run that past anyone. I like that. So I think I just want to tap in. And I know that might sound like, yeah, bitch, you lived a life. Great. But like, I think I want to just do shit like that from now on. Just give myself of like, no more negotiating with myself or really weighing the pros and cons of what to do next. Just do exactly what I want to do when I want to do it, when I can do it, and feel confident that when I am doing that stuff, I'm showing up as authentically as myself as possible, Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that answers it. I think we should wrap it up. That answers my question. It's we all are achieving our own inner peace. I think that's a good thing. I'm doing it with painting and the films and these little things, and I feel like everyone focus. I agree. You sounds like you're doing it. However you're doing it, which is great.
However I'm doing it, we're out here. We're making moves. But all right.
And all. Gosh, that's interesting. We're gonna do that as the thumbnail for the episode.
Oh, his tiny little penis. You should.
Okay. Well, let's do this again whenever you want. I'm always open. We happy spring.
Yeah, man.
And
yeah, let me know when you come back down here. I will definitely we'll cross paths.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely go to Provenza's. Maybe we'll get some tacos or some pizza, or some chicken wings. Before that,
mini M&Ms.
What we're gonna do is bring some chicken wings to Provenza's.
Oh, he would be blown away, like somebody bringing something to my house or what?
Oh, I know. I felt so bad last time. I gave him a birthday present though. I gave him a hoodie that I had that fit him. It's actually because he's huge. But I didn't realize it was his birthday. I was like, oh shit. Well, okay. Then all these presents started coming out, and then I started giving one shirt away, then another shirt away, then another. But he is so Paul. We love you, Babs.
Love you,
We
Paul,
love you,
Babs,
everybody.
everybody at the greenhouse.
And we'll see you in the future, Paul. But yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's a great.
But so to continued, I'll see you in LA. We'll bring some wings. I won't do ecstasy and mushrooms at the same time. I'll probably just do a little mushroom.
That's a safer bet. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, happy 2025. Thank you again, Meg Ryan, for coming on my little podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Hey, that was fun. All right, that's episode 144 in the can with writer Meg Ryan, surfer. And what a treat. What a great thing to be back with you guys and making it through the winter. Check out me on Blue Sky. You can check me out on Instagram, brettwoods22. Check out my website, brettwoods.com. If you want to get involved in any of my film stuff or anything creative, let me know. Cheers. I'm going to get through this one day at a time, baby. All right, I'll see you guys. I'll see you later.
Welcome to Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.